Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Tim, and today I am continuing my playthrough of Skies Above Britain. We are getting ready to start Chapter 4, Patrol number 6. And I'm starting to feel a little, some mixed feelings, I guess, here as we approach the end of this campaign. I feel kind of sad that it's going to be ending soon, but at the same time, I'm excited to get back to my Silent War playthrough as well. So, feeling a little sad and happy at the same time. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and get into it. And we will start with seeing what our random event is going to be. Sorry, I had a little coughing fit there. I had to pause real quick. Hopefully it didn't catch too much of it before I paused it. All right. Chapter 4, Ebb of Battle. Something other than Big Wing. I think we've seen enough of that for this campaign. All right, here we go. And it's a 5, which is Night Duty. I think we had that. Yeah, we had that, I think, in the early on as well. I think someone goes out on a patrol. It counts as a patrol for them, and not sure what else it impacts, but let's see. I think they immediately become fatigued as well if you fly them this patrol. Here it is. One of your pilots is called up for a night patrol. Select a pilot, but not a green pilot. Credit that pilot for flying one patrol and check for landing. Roll a die. If you roll a 1, fog shrouds the aerodrome, and he fails to return and is not seen again. He returns safely if you rolled a 2 or higher. Got some spacing issues here. Hopefully they correct that in the reprint. If he returns and is assigned to this upcoming patrol, he is automatically exhausted after that patrol. Oh, so it's even worse than flying him fatigued. It's as if you flew him 4 patrols in a row. So we don't want to do that. And I believe since it says select a pilot that we get to choose. So let's take a look at our pilot situation here before we make this choice. And actually, while we're talking about this, I just realized before I started here, I was looking to see if we had any promotions after the last patrol. And we actually should have had a promotion after the previous patrol. Grant has actually flown 5 patrols now, so he wasn't green on that last patrol. I'm not sure if that affected anything that happened to him, but he should not have been. He should have been a regular pilot in the previous patrol. So we'll go ahead and take care of that. And then I think now Merrington has just flown his 4th patrol, so he is also no longer green. So that only leaves Stu as our lone green pilot at this point. And then while we're at it, let's see if anyone, because I should have done this at the end of the last patrol, see if anyone made it to veteran. So who are our regular pilots? Doggett, he's pretty close, it looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he needs 1 more. Who else is regular? Fitzroy has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he is a veteran now. So let's flip him over. Go ahead and turn these guys back that used their veteran privilege last time. All right. What else do we, who else? G, we know he's just became a regular. Same with Merrington. Osgood. Let's check out Osgood. Osgood has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, and again, I messed that up. He should have been a veteran last patrol, and he's earned an ace skill. I forgot to record that as well. So yeah, Osgood was actually a veteran last patrol. My mistake. And pretty sure he just got that 5th kill in the last patrol. So we need to give him an ace skill. And again, we tried to do it with Hooley, but then he got hospitalized right away. We weren't able to give it a try, but I want to use that innovator skill. Yeah, this one here. So that we can try out the advanced formation on the squadron display. So we're going to give Osgood the innovator. I don't think I ever wrote that down for Hooley either. Yeah, and actually we should be able to give that a try this go round. Okay, and then our last regular that we need to check is Tremble, and he's only got 6 under his belt, so he will not, well, unless we flew him. We could fly him the last 3 patrols, and he'd end up being exhausted at the end, but he would be a veteran, but I don't think it's worth doing that. All right, so then let's look at our fatigue situation as well before we choose who we want this to be. And the only restriction, I think it said it couldn't be a green pilot. Yeah. But let's first look at our fatigued. So this would be if they flew 4 and 5, right? Because we're on 6. So we're looking at Fitzroy is fatigued. So Doggett is no longer fatigued. Fitzroy is fatigued. Let's see, who else? Oh, we forgot to scratch Hooley. He's actually no longer with us. That's a shame, too. He had 6 bomber kills and 2 escort kills. He had been with us from the beginning. All right, and then let's see, Irwin is fatigued. Oh, he is also an ace now. I just realized that. So we need to give him an ace skill. I'm thinking Lucky Charm for that one. So let's get his ace marker. I don't know. I think this is the symbol for Lucky Charm. Irwin, but he is fatigued, so he'll probably sit out this time. All right, who else? Merrington is fatigued, who is also no longer green. Put him in the regular fatigued box. Northcott, we've got a bunch here. Northcott, Osgood, they're both fatigued. Oh, so we won't be able to use our innovator this time around. Looks like we're going to be flying short-handed probably too. Pertwee, not Rathbone. Not Tremble. And not Upchurch or White. Okay, so that's it. So we've got, looks like 5 fatigued pilots, 4 veterans, and 1 regular. And of course, we're down 1 because we may be able to get a replacement. for him, for Hooley. Yeah, so let's see, what does that leave us? So these guys can all put up Church over here in Red Squadron. We'll give him Doggett. And White we'll put there. Yeah, so it looks like we'll have Trumbull fly that night patrol, and then we'll have him sit out. Actually, is there a better? I mean, that would make it so he could theoretically make a veteran, because that'll count as another patrol. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would give him 7. He's not flying this one though, but he'd be in the same situation. He could fly the last 2 and make veteran at the end of the campaign. Is there anyone else that's closer? I don't think so. Maybe Doggett. Yeah, Doggett only needed 1, right? 1, 2, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, let's give it to Doggett. So Doggett will go on the night patrol. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that'll be 9 for him. Of course, that's assuming he doesn't get lost in the fog. So we'll just flip-flop Doggett and Trumbull there. And then if he does make it back, he will become a veteran. Whew. Yes, he made it. And he's now a veteran, or will be, once he flies. Well, I mean, I guess he is now. We could fly him right now as a veteran, but then he would become exhausted. All right, so that also took care of our pilot roster situation. So let's go ahead and record who's flying here. We've got Trumbull. We've got Upchurch. We've got Rathbone. He will be fatigued after this one. We've got Auld. We've got Birtwistle. We've got White. We've got Grant. Oh, wait. Grant's fatigued. I missed that one. That's okay. We're going to fly him anyway, because we want to fill out 3 sections. So I'll need to mark him fatigued. We've got Ellsworth. We've got Pertwee. And that's it. So let me get a fatigue marker for Grant. Yeah, that's good. All right, so that's our roster situation. Random event is taken care of. So I think we can go to the rest of our setup now. As I find my scenario card. All right, so we don't have to start in the deep zone this time like we have the last few times with that big wing. So I guess last time we didn't. Now neither of these require expenditure of fuel, so we'll go ahead and do this, and then we'll place our markers out. Whoops. In the tower. There we go. 9. Okay, good. So we get to start in the middle, which is where you want to be. for this chapter. Let's get our markers out. So we got 4 on the left. Another 4. Two. One. And 1. Let's have no raid marker there. 1 raid marker in this group. And then we don't care about the rest. All right. So that's that. Then we need to figure out our visibility. Again, red dye will be sun location, or visibility, sorry. Blue dye will be sun location. If needed. 10, it is not needed. We got clouds, no sun. That's not good. So if we get a turn point result here soon. Okay, I think that's everything. There is one other thing I want to talk about, but I'll talk about that when we get to the contact phase. Oh, I did want to also mention, if you haven't already, I encourage you to go check out Grant OS's channel. He's doing a playthrough. He just got started on chapter 2. And shameless plug here. I think it was the last patrol, maybe the patrol 5, I think, of chapter 1. He put me in as a replacement. And I got a kill already, a bomber kill. So go check that out. Grant OS. All right. Let's get rolling here. Raid vector sequence reveal step. Ooh, straggler. Okay, we're going to ignore that. If we had someone that was already lost contact, we might send them after them, but not straight off the bat. Okay, and that was the only one there. So that concludes the reveal step, fuel step. We spend a fuel. We can't make contact because the raid marker has not shown up yet. So for the vector step, I think we will just move to high altitude, be in a better position when we are able to make contact. And yeah, that's all. We don't have to spend a fuel if we only move or change altitude. If we were to do both, we would have to spend a fuel. Also, just a quick reminder, there's also an escort exit check in that vector step of the raid vector sequence, but we don't have any escorts out yet, so we don't need to do that. So we go back to reveal, and there it is. So new trade, and since the raid marker is not on the track yet, that is treated as a raid result. So the raid marker comes out. However, since we don't have clear visibility, we don't get to see where the escorts are yet. And then we have a flak 2. Pull these, and then as Scott W does, I'm going to place them on the bomber tile stack so that I don't forget about them when we place the bombers. These will be hurricane side since it's flak, so we have a wing hit and a fuselage hit. All right, we do have a tally-ho opportunity here, but we don't need to because that would cost fuel to make contact here. I believe I know moving does. I think contact from a tally-ho does as well. Flag, tally-ho. Yeah, you have to spend a fuel to make contact. If there were more markers to reveal, we would definitely do it, but since there aren't, there's no sense wasting that fuel. I guess technically it's not really a waste because we would jump down to here and we would skip this fuel step. So in this case, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. But we'll just let things flow naturally here, spend the fuel, and then yes, we're going to make contact. All right, so in this case, what I'm about to talk about doesn't really matter because we don't know where the escorts are yet. But this is something that I never realized until Stu pointed this out on one of Grant's recent videos. It is, in fact, in the rule book. I just totally overlooked it. But when you're going to make contact, where is that at? Grade vector sequence. Contact. And it has to do with the adjustment. So you know, of course, so we'll be rolling on this table here. We get a +1 because we're high, but -1 because there's clouds, so those will cancel each other out. But you know, say we get a 4 to 9, so we can either come in flank low or spend a fuel to come in flank high or nose low. And I've always just thought, well, that's your entire squadron can either come in flank low or spend the fuel to go flank high or nose low. But in fact, and then of course after that point, you can, you know, I obviously knew that you could split up then to issue different orders to different parts of your squadron. But in fact, you can split the squadron here into either flights and or sections and have some but not all formations make the adjustment. So in our example, we could have, you know, we could say split into A flight and B flight and have A flight go flank low and then only the sections that are in B flight spend a fuel to go flank high or nose low. Or we could even go so far as to go into A flight and then, which would be red and green section, and then split blue and yellow section into individual sections. And we could have A flight go flank low without spending a fuel, have blue section spend a fuel and go flank high, and have yellow section spend a fuel and go nose low. You know, and depending on where the escorts are and which ones we wanted to try to suppress, you know, it might make sense to do that. To have the bomber, whoever you plan on sending after the bombers come in from one position and have the ones that you want to send after escorts come in from a different position and possibly even multiple positions. So just something to add to the toolbox when deciding how you want to do things. And like I said, I just had completely overlooked that and didn't realize that was a possibility even. But like I said, in this case, we don't know where the escorts are yet, so unless we just want to kind of hedge our bets, it probably doesn't make sense to do that. And in actuality, since the fighters haven't even dropped their bombs yet, we'd probably just try to send everyone after the bombers anyway. So we're going to make a contact roll here, and you don't have to make this choice obviously until after you make the roll and see what your options are. So let's see what we're going to get here. So we're in the same zone. We're high, which gives us a +1, but there's clouds, which gives us a -1. So straight roll here. And probably 10 or more would be ideal, coming in from the nose. And when you're trying to disrupt stuff is always the best. We get a 2. So we get tail low or tail high or flank low. There's no sun, so that's not going to factor into our decision at all. Let's see what would be, and again, not knowing where the escorts are, we're kind of quote unquote flying blind here, pun intended. So tail low, tail low, tail high, or flank low are our options. So tail low is pretty much always bad. If all we end up with lead and or head, but I don't think that's a possibility. No. We're almost certainly going to have something port and or starboard. Unless we roll a 3 to 4, that's the only case where we don't have port and or starboard. And then tail high. I mean, unless they're in the high, if there's no one in the high station, tail high is pretty decent. You do suffer the penalty, of course, but the first round penalty. And coming in from the tail is your least effective from a disruption standpoint. And a good chunk of the 3 to 6 will result in someone in the high station. So flank low. I mean, again, high station is obviously bad, even worse than here. But if we can manage to only get one flank, which would be a 12, a 10, a 6, a 5, basically 3 through 6, 10, or 12. But then we'd have to guess on which flank we want to come in from. So I don't know. I'm almost thinking even with the penalty, tail low might be our best bet. If we do end up with escorts in the high station, we could try to suppress them. And even though the isolation results aren't great, we will have a second round to try to bust them up some more. So, and if you don't get to the bombers at all, it doesn't matter what your isolation chances are. Your isolation chances are 0 if you fail your interception check. So, but we do have 3 veteran section leaders, so we got potentially +3 from that. So yeah, I'm thinking we just come in tail low, or tail. Was it tail low or tail high? I guess tail high would be better, right? We don't have to spend the fuel. Yeah, and it's across the board better. So yeah, we'll come in tail high. With the lack of better information about the escorts, I think this is our best opportunity to intercept the bombers. That does require fuel expenditure for the adjustment. And that's contact, except now we do get to see, well, we don't get to see where what the bombers are because it's still clouds, but we at least get to see the escorts now, I believe. I'll just confirm that real quick. Contact was just there too. Yes, if escort station markers are not yet on the map, place them there now. Bombers, place them unless it's clouds. We have to wait until we successfully intercept them. All right, so let's see what we are now facing escort-wise. Hoping for something that doesn't include the high station. 7. Oh, we got it. 109 heavies at starboard and port. So I think we won't need to bother with the escorts. So we've made contact. We now go to the interception sequence, starting with the orders phase. And again, coming in tail high. They're 109s at starboard and port in this case. So we only need a 6. And we get our re-roll. And again, we have 3 veterans. So as long as we don't get a 1 or a 2, we won't even have to re-roll. So getting a little ahead of myself here, but we are giving a bomber's order to the entire squadron. Now we roll for that interception check. And we got a 12. Wow, we could have made it from anywhere. All right, good deal. So this will come off the interception map. And now we get to see what we're facing bomber-wise. So red die for bomber type, blue die for configuration or formation. So we got an 11, which is going to be Heinkel's, and we got a 7, which is going to be this 8-tile configuration here. So, yeah, man, I wish we were coming in flank. This is I'm currently watching Stu's first patrol of Chapter 2, and he got this same formation and managed to get all 12 fighters into the formation, but he was able to come in from the flank, and I gave him a little bit of a tip. He decided to just focus on isolating these 2 initially. But you could actually, because every card in the medium bomber deck, every card with a flank approach has a disruption result. And the highest number is 14. He also had 2 damage from flak on there, which we're going to have as well. So he was starting with 14. So I was like, send 1 fighter here, 1 fighter here, 1 fighter here, and the rest of them on this one. So you're guaranteed to get an isolation on the first one that you do. So that would get those 2 isolated. Then you could go after, this one or that one. Either one doesn't matter. And then, even with only 1 fighter on here, you still got 13 left. So, unless you didn't get the 14 here and you happen to get the 14 here, that's going to isolate these 2. And then that leaves, 12 still to get an isolation on this one. And then you've got 9 attempts at, isolating the rest. So anyway, we're coming in from the tail, so it's going to be a completely different story. But let's get that set up, and then we'll figure out what we want to do. All right, here we are. We've got these 2 flak we need to dole out. They need to go on different tiles. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the blue die will be which bomber on that tile it goes on. Which doesn't really matter, but I like to randomize it anyway. All right. We got 7 and 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 3 is going to be the first one there. I think the wing was the first one we drew, so we'll do that one on there. And then now just leaving out that tile, so this one will be 7, and we'll re-roll anything higher than 7. Which we did get. It's going to be the left bomber there. And 3 is going to be this one. That one's got a fuselage. Hoping maybe it'd be back here. All right. So we definitely want to go after this tile. Try to isolate those two. And then I think we try to go after this one. It's going to be tough because I think it's only 4. It's like 4 or 5 cards in the whole medium bomber deck that have isolation results from the rear. So, but hopefully we can knock some out, and you do get a lot more damage from the rear, that's for sure. So if we get some destroyed and knock some out, that will help as well. But I did find out if you destroy an entire tile without isolating it, it does not automatically isolate other tiles that are next to it. Like, I think the way I saw a post on BGG about this, the way Jerry described it was basically that the other planes would just kind of reform around in the, fill in that missing hole. So effectively, if we took out all 3 of these, this one's still considered attached. I think probably would even come up like that, and basically fill in that gap. So if you don't actually get an isolation result, it doesn't result in, or a disruption result, it doesn't result in tiles getting isolated. Now, of course, if it was just these 2 on their own, and you took out all 3 of these without getting a disruption result, this would then be an isolated tile, obviously, but you don't score points for isolating it. But any future attacks on it would use the isolated tile row. So that's my understanding of his answer to that. Okay, let's see what we want to do here. Who do we have? Ald is our only green pilot. So we want to make sure we keep him with Birtwistle and or white. So green section, we want to keep them together. And we'll let green 3 go first. So why don't we just start with them here. I think we'll go at least a couple on this one. We probably need more than 2. Like I said, there's very few isolation results. Let's go like that. Let's split it up even more just so that we don't end up with a situation where we pile a bunch of counters on something and then it ends up getting destroyed or falling out. So we'll try to minimize that possibility. And then we'll send, let's just do like this, I guess. Maybe we'll divide these up some more. Yeah, I think that looks good. We'll start over here so that it has the most connected, to increase our chances of isolating this, and then once it is isolated, we still got all of this attached. So these markers will get to count for both. All right, we'll go with that. And we'll go ahead and start with blue 3. Which is our fatigued pilot, Grant. Fatigued, but no longer green. So he will suffer a plus or -1 to collision checks, hit checks, and something else. Fate checks, I think. All right, so starting here with blue 3. We're coming in on the tail. Green pilot would take a hit. He gets a damage and a low ammo. And the damage is a fuselage with a chance of falling on 11 or 12. No. He is done. Let's hold off on this one. Like I said, just in case we don't want to have something happen that knocks him out, and then there's fewer markers on here. So we'll go to blue 2 next. And blue 2 is not green. Again, in fact, let me get those markers down here so I remind myself that he is fatigued and he is green. So Ald's the only one we have to worry about with green hits. So there we go, 2 damage and low ammo like that one. Our first one is a wing, catastrophic on an 11. Nope. And an engine, which does make him fall out. So that's slightly unfortunate, but I won't complain about it too much. Let's see, I think, yeah, this is the Heinkel side. The Heinkels and the Junkers are a little hard to differentiate sometimes. Okay, and then he's gonna follow onto that tile. Okay, so let's go with red 3 next. Top row on the tail, there we go. Disrupt on a 10. Ooh, do we have enough? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, good. And again, green pilot takes a hit, but not a green pilot. And we do manage to isolate these 2 tiles. Let's just move him to the middle here. That's him done. We'll mark down 2 Ketan isolated for patrol 6. All right, now hopefully we can get one of those other isolation results up here. Okay, then lastly over here we've got blue leader. Let's hope we don't waste one of them on this. No, we didn't. All right, but he's got 6 to fall out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just missed it. And then his guns are jammed. That wasn't very good. But remember, these guys can choose to stay on the tail. And so can he. And so can he. For round 2. So we may very well do that. Well, this one probably, I don't know, maybe these we might be better off coming in flank up here to try to isolate these other 4 tiles. That's probably a better use of them. But definitely him, I think I'll leave on the tail there to hopefully finish that guy off, because there are quite a few double damage results like this, even on the lone bomber column or row coming in from the tail. All right, enough of talking about what we're going to do next round. Let's finish this round. Let's next go here with red leader. So no disrupt, but 2 damage, nice. And again, green pilot hit, he's not green. So 2 damage and a low ammo. There are a lot of low ammo results on the tail as well. I don't think it's quite 100%, but it's definitely up there. All right, and two damage on that lead bomber in that Keta. Got a wing. Oh, that's the hurricane side. Just a wing. And another wing. Okay, he's done. Let's go here next. Red 2. No isolation, but 2 more damage, but a return fire. So, and we got to remember we have our tail round 1 penalty in effect. So let's give him his low ammo marker. Let's get our 2 damage. Fuselage. And engine, so that one drops out. Again, not ideal, but we'll take it. Let's move him over here as well. He's still got to do a return fire though. All right, so the return fire for red 2, because who that was, yeah. Hopefully not a hit. It is a hit. So this is what triggers the tail penalty. If this had not been a hit, then we wouldn't draw another marker. So it's a fuselage 6, or if this number is higher, it'll be this one. Oh, it is a fuselage 10. Yikes. And what I do if they're the same, I just stick with the first one. I think Jerry has said that you can either do that or roll a die to see which one it is, whichever one you want to do. If they're different numbers and affect different parts of the aircraft. If they're the same, obviously it doesn't matter. Okay, so that's that one done. I don't want to do this next because I don't want to risk wasting an isolation result. But I could be getting us closer to an isolation result, so you never know. But we'll go ahead and jump back over here to our one and only green pilot, Stu, and see what he gets. Okay, well, at least it wasn't a green pilot hit. It does get a damage, a low ammo, and then return fire. We got one more chance to get these tiles isolated here. Flip this around. And his return fire is a low ammo. We'll take that. He's out. And again, since it wasn't a hit, the round 1 tail penalty does not apply. I was doing that incorrectly a few patrols ago. All right, green leader, our last hope. No damage and return fire. Oh, might fall out. Let's see if he does. Ooh, almost. Fly buzzing around in here. And then we need his return fire. If we get a low ammo for him, that would be great. Since he didn't have one to start with. Even if he did, he could cancel it. Nope, it's a hit. It's a wing 5, and I'm guessing this one will probably be higher. More than likely. Wing 7. All right, so we'll have to try to finish isolating everything in round 2. But we still have green 2, and now we find out if we should have done him earlier. Yes, we should have. Man. So green pilot takes a hit and low ammo. That was a terrible card for the lone bomber row. Well, he's not green at least. But he does go low ammo and nothing to show for it. All right, well, that was too bad. That is everyone. Yep. So let's disengage. Wait. So we're going to have... Well, these 3 we're definitely going to disengage. Because we don't care about that tile anymore. This one, I'm thinking we leave on the tail to try to finish that guy off. These 2, though, see, if we do that with them, we're only going to have, he's going to go home because he's got no ammo. I mean, I guess we could leave him around. Yeah, we'll probably leave him around to try to help with the disruptions, just to count as a plane. But we might lose him. We might lose, if we leave both of them on there, we're looking at only having 5 to try to disrupt the rest of these tiles. I mean, we only really need to send 1 after that tile and put the rest over here, I think. Yeah, I'm thinking we're better off having these guys disengage as well to help with the isolation. I guess if we are going to leave 1 guy over here, we might as well trying to think. We could leave him, and then if he passes his check, then he's still there. I mean, actually, both of them, since we're planning on going for this tile anyway, do we just leave both of them engaged? I was kind of thinking maybe only leave 1 there. Oh, but yeah, because we want as many shots on these as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4. That'd be 2 on each. Just really, because there's a chance if we, after this, then when we go to the raid vector step, there's a chance of them dropping their bombs, and then we won't get points for isolating anymore. So I definitely want to try to get them this time. So yeah, I think we maximize our chances of that. So we'll leave this guy engaged on the tail just in case he passes his hit check. He's going to disengage, obviously, because he's going home. And we'll have this guy disengage. He's remaining engaged. He's remaining engaged. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so we got our hit checks. We'll do the 10 fuselage first. No. So red 2 goes to the fuselage fate box, which is red 2 is Rathbone. Okay. And then we've got wing 7. Come on, we really want this guy to pass. Yes. All right. Trivial. Okay. So that concludes that pass through the bomber cycle from the intercept order, or the bomber's order in the intercept phase. So now we go to the entropy phase and back to the bomber formation area. Okay, so we've already got 2 that are engaged on the tail. We're going to have everyone else engage from the flank, so there's no delay. And I think we want to focus on these 2 tiles. Again, we're sending Stu in there just to count as a body, even though he won't be able to do any damage. And I think again, because we're just trying to maximize our chances of disrupting these, or not, disrupting them through disruption result. We'll split them up so that we don't have a situation where we have, would have gotten a second damage on a tile, but it ends up knocking them out of formation, and then it's only 1 marker that's left behind. So we'll spread them out like that to alleviate that possibility. Yep, let's do that. And we'll do this one last, obviously, because we want all of these to count toward these 2 attempts, or these 6 attempts, actually, on those 2 tiles. And it doesn't matter which one we start with here, so I guess we might as well go down here first. And we'll start with red leader. We're coming in flank now on the top row. So he does get another damage, which will help reach that 11 if we're not already there. I think we might already be there. Low ammo and return fire. Of course, our tail penalty is no longer in effect. So let's see, low ammo. He's already low ammo. He could cancel that, but I don't think we need to bother with that. Oh, the one thing, I guess, that we're taking a bit of a risk on here is we don't have a veteran in green section going with Stu to try to keep him from getting hit. That's all right. You're on your own there, Stu. Okay, so no ammo for him. A damage. On the right side, fuselage. And then 11 for the disruption. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 easily. So that was I don't know if the 14 also has a damage on it, but if it does, that would have been a guaranteed because we had 13 to begin with. And 14 is the highest number in the deck. Actually, did we draw it already? Yeah, we did. It does not. So that was the only one that could have failed. So that's good. So yeah, that isolates this tile only, which is good. We want to keep as much together as long as possible. So that's one more isolated. And then he gets a return fire. Which is is a hit. Fuselage 6. Not too bad. All right. Let's go ahead and stick with our isolation stuff here so we don't miss out. But again, every single one of them has an isolation. We've already seen the 14. There is a 13. So that one would probably fail here, but we've got 3 shots at it. So let's just go ahead and keep going with these. We'll go with red 3 next. There it is. Low ammo and a 7. Certainly more than 7 there. So that will isolate these 2. Now I'm going to wish I had more on there. I didn't think about that. I've only got 1 shot now at isolating that one. Oh well. That's what we decided. All right, so that's 2 more isolated. So we have a total of 5 now. Yeah, that probably wasn't the smartest thing to do there, Tim. All right, I probably should have done 2 on each of these and then put everybody else up there, but it is what it is at this point. Let's go ahead and so what do we need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We just got a 7. We've seen an 11, an 8, a 6, a 9, an 8. Well, yeah, let's just take our chances here with this next draw. Let's get it over with. So we'll go to green leader next. Yes, 5. And he puts another damage on. So I guess it wouldn't matter in this case because that would put a destroyed marker here and we'd still be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we'll go ahead and do the disruption first. So that's 3 more isolated. We got our max of 8 points from isolation. And he gets the kill on that bomber, then takes return fire. Just for fun, we'll see what it was. A wing. So that is destroyed. And credit the pilot of Green Leader, which is Birtwistle. His first bomber kill. He's got 2 escort kills as well. And that's 1 bomber kill for the patrol. And he takes return fire. And it is a hit, fuselage 7. Oh, wait. Dummy. Yeah, that was real dumb. Just leaving a tail on there to try to disrupt. I need to back this up because I was looking at the wrong column. We did get, I gotta remember what all those, I guess it doesn't matter. There was 3 damage on here. I guess it could matter if one was an engine, but no, if one had been an engine, it would have been fallen. He's coming in from the tail here, dum-dum. So we needed 9. We only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, that was kind of stupid on my part to leave him as the only one left over there. Return fire though, which we did do, and he got the fuselage 7. Yeah, so now we gotta hope they don't drop their bombs. Scratch those 3 points off, those 3 tally marks. That's what they're called, Grant tally marks. Yeah, man, wasn't thinking very clearly there when I made those assignments. All right, well, we still got a few more to finish up here. Let's go ahead and see if Blue 2 can finish off this bomber. We need a double damage result from the tail. And we got it, along with some return fire on the side. So again, just for fun, we'll see what they were. A fuselage 12, which may have done it. Nope. And then a wing to finish it off. All right, so that was the one from, which one was that from? That was the one from here, I think. So that's destroyed. But he's still got a return fire to draw. Wing 4. Again, no penalty because we're not in round 1. Okay, so that, we need to mark that up too. Who was that? Who was that masked man in Flying Blue 2? That was Pertwee. Doctor Who. That's who it was. Third bomber kill for Pertwee. One escort kill to go along with that. And that's our second bomber kill of the patrol. I was just thinking I get all smart telling Grant how he should approach the bombers to get maximum isolation results, and then I mess it up when I'm doing it. All right, let's see. I guess we'll go here next. Mr. Jammed Guns. Did we need anything else for... Who did we just do? Pertwee, right? Yeah, we did his return fire. Okay. Make sure we didn't leave anything out from there. So where are we at again? Over here. Isolated tile from the flank. So green pilot takes a hit. No. Falls out. Or distress on a 3. There's 3. So that one will fall. Don't have to worry about checking his jammed guns. And then we've got Stu over here with no bullets, going after this bomber like a madman, just to try to scare him. And he would have got a dorsal gunner hit, but instead he runs out of ammo and not enough. Well, he's already out of ammo and not enough to distress them, but no harm to himself either. All right, next let's do our fatigued pilot, Grant, in Blue 3. Again, isolated tile, starboard or port, return fire, low ammo, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. So he's out of ammo and gets shot at. Which isn't good because he's fatigued. He has to make a hit check. He gets a +1 or -1. He has to roll one higher. That's why I keep saying +1, but it's actually -1 to the die roll. Ooh, it's only a green pilot hit, and he's not green. Good show. Okay, and then we have green 2 as our final one to resolve here, I believe. Yes. Again, isolated tile. He does get a dorsal gunner hit, runs out of ammo, and 6 is not quite gonna cut it. We've only got 5. So, yeah, if I'd have been thinking, because the first one was guaranteed, we should have only put 1 fighter on one of these guys, and probably only 1 or 2 on the next one. And then just load it up on that one. Didn't take my own advice. Okay. That's going to do it for the burst step. So let's disengage everyone. Well, technically, this guy could stay engaged. I guess we might as well. Although, if we get an escort reaction, they're going to come after him first. So, probably doesn't matter, but we might as well because we can. He might not even pass this hit check, so. Everyone else disengages. Let's just get all these isolated tiles out of the way here. We'll leave him engaged on the tail. All right, well, might as well start with this one here. So we need a 7 or higher. No. So green leader goes to the fuselage fate box, which is Virtuousal. All right, fuselage 6 here. Whoo, that one's trivial. And then a wing 4. Oh, no. We missed the easiest one. That is blue 2. Piloted by Pertwee. So our guys with the bomber kills paid for it. Oh, he's going to wing. Okay, now the dreaded escort reaction. Oops. Well, no ambush, so that's good, but we're getting 2 from each. So we got 4 dogfights to resolve. Nobody's getting reduced. Nobody's moving. That's it. Just the 4 dogfights. 4. Okay. and see who gets to deal with the first one. Got 6 fighters left. That's right, because we only started with 9. 3 in fate boxes. I think we might have to, unfortunately, settle for our 7 points that we have so far. I don't know that I want to risk anyone else for something that doesn't really make a difference in the grand scheme of things. All right, so divide by 2, see who this is going to be. It's this guy with the jammed guns. Let's make some room here for our dog fight. These are all 109s and they're all heavy. So it doesn't matter which is which here. He's not a green fighter. Ooh, head on with a swarm. I mean, to be honest, whether you're head on with a swarm or a rota doesn't really matter because all of them have vanished results. So that doesn't bother me, but let's see what happens here. So we're 109s, we're head on with a lone fighter, or what's it called? Lone bomber, independent fighter, that's what it is. So as always, vanish, hit, and unfortunately reinforcements come up behind us. Which, since we got a hit, we will not be able to maneuver. It's wing 5. So we are now tailed. It's still round 1, so we're not lost contact yet, at least. Yeah, we couldn't do anything. So here, we take another hit, and they're still on us. So it is round 2 now. Well, it will be if we survive these hit checks, I should say. Second one is a wing 9, okay? So we'll do red die for the 5, blue die for the 9. Ooh, well, it wouldn't have mattered. One of them was going to fail. So blue leader, which is Ellsworth, goes to the, shoot, what was that, wing? Hang on. Yes, it was wing. So Ellsworth is off to the wing fate box along with Pertwee. This could end up being really bad. Okay, next up, divide by 2 again. We'll re-roll 11 or 12. 7, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. That's this guy. Without any ammo. It is a heavy escort, so we replace the rota with a swarm. So we're tailed by a swarm. We're going to evade. Oh boy. Some choice here. Hit and reduce or reinforcements head on. I think we got to go with the hit and reduce. So they'll reduce again because we evaded. Then we take a hit. And again, assuming we pass our hit check, we will be lost contact. Oh my, it's a wing 10. Ooh, we do. Trivial. Lost contact. Let's evade again. See if we can shake this guy. These guys. We can. Unfortunately, we have to take a hit. This one is an engine 9. Almost as bad. Ooh, so close. Oh, I gotta remember too. Well, it's not our fatigue guy. This is our fatigue guy. So he goes to the engine fate box. Green 2 is white. Yeah, we're definitely not sticking around to suffer any more of this. That's only the first 2. Oh boy. All right, I'll divide by 3 now. That'll be the first one in a row. Red leader. Upchurch, one of our 3 aces, who's never been able to use his Bloodhound ability. All right. Out in the sun. Nope. We got clouds, so head on with a Rota. Nothing we can do. Here, vanish and hit. There's our other head-on card. So they're gone, and we take a hit. Engine 5, come on. You can pass this. Yes. Whew. Afraid we were going to lose 4 fighters here. Well, he's back in the ranks of the eligible. So let's see who gets this last one. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is Stu, our one and only green pilot. It is a heavy escort, so we're replacing the head-on Rota with a Swarm on our tail. I think you would have rather had the head-on Rota. All right, well, Stu's going to try to evade. Well, he is going to evade. There's no try about it. There is no try, only do. Tailed. Okay, so hit or hit and reduce. So we'll take hit and reduce. So again, that reduces an automatic reduction because we chose evade. But then the dreaded hit. Fuselage 8. Yes, trivial. Oops. All right, lost contact because we're entering, oops, the second round of dogfighting. Stu will once again try to evade. You know what? Stu's gonna try something crazy and try to turn into him. Oh, didn't work. Hit and reduce. So they're down to only one. But he has to try to pass another hit check. Ooh, this one's a fuselage 10. Not looking good, Stu. Nope. To the fuselage box. All right. Get all these back where they belong. And that is it for escort reaction. Just remember, there was no reduction. Was in the high station, which we don't have any. No one's in lead. No ambush. That card is done. And we are moving on to Chase. We don't have anyone that's lost contact. The ones that were ended up going to fate boxes. So patrol complete. No. Fuel. Who do we have left? We didn't need yellow to start with. And looks like we only have red and blue left. So they're going to spend a fuel. Escort recovery, no. Escort exit, let's find out. 10 or less. Do the port station first. No. Starboard station. Yes. They are reduced to light. There is no channel patrol for this spot. Reform, nothing to do. Raid vector step. Let's see what's coming next. Hopefully they won't drop their bomb. Well, I don't think we're going to stick around, even if they don't. They do. So these all go away. There is no sun, so we don't have to roll to see where the sun moves to. Of course, the sun doesn't move. They move in relation to the sun. Yeah, and that's it, I think, for the second raid result. So no more points for isolating Ketan. And that moves up to the turn space. So that's going to do it for raid vector. Swirl again. No orders to give. Nothing to intercept with. Entropy. Bomber formation area. And we're just going to send everybody home. We've taken enough possible casualties here. And then no reaction because no one's in the bomber formation area now. Nothing to do for chase. Patrol complete. Yes. Alrighty. Let's find out what happens to everyone. What happened to everyone. It's already happened. We're just now finding out what it was. Slide this down closer here. All right, let's start over here in the engine box with Mr. White. Oops. He needs a 10 to 12 to land safely. 8. Oh, and I forgot. I usually roll this along with it. See what happened to him. So 8 was a crash, and he rolled a 6, which is going to land him in the hospital. So this may be the last patrol for Mr. White, with only 2 left to go. But he's been with us. He's been with us from the start, so gotta give him props for his survivability there. All right, Mr. Ellsworth is next. And in the wing box, he's going to need a 9 or higher. Oh, 3. It's going to be fire. And then he got a 7, which is going to put him in the hospital as well. We might not have very many pilots for these last couple patrols. Okay. Next up, Mr. Pertwee, the 3rd doctor. He also needs a 9 or higher. No, 3 is, he also catches on fire, and 6 will also land him in the hospital. All right, then we have Stu, our lone green pilot. Needs to get an 8 or higher to land with his fuselage damage. No, he catches on fire as well. And because he's green, we got to use his bottom row. And a 7 will land him in the hospital. Birtwistle needs an 8 or higher. I got to remember too, these guys still got their pluck. I don't think anyone's missed it by 1. I might have to review that actually, if any of these guys could have, were they close enough where they could have bailed out instead of going to the hospital? I don't think so. I think they were all pretty much in the middle of the range, but I'll review that just to make sure. So Birtwistle needs an 8 or higher. Yeah, because all of these still had their, no one used their privilege yet, so. Hey, there we go. Managed to land. He was green leader. And then Rathbone likewise needs an 8 or higher. Yes, perfect. And he was in red 2. All right, I'm just going to pause here and recheck that to make sure a veteran privilege couldn't have kept one of those guys out of the hospital. Yeah, none of these 3 were close enough on their rolls to avert going to the hospital, even with using pluck, so that's what we got. All right, so let's do our end of patrol summary here. We had 2 bomber kills, 5 Ketan isolated, thanks to my tactical blunder there in round 2. So that's going to be a total of 7 victory points. We had no one bail out, but we had 4 hospitalized and no KIAs. So that puts us at 16, 20, 31 plus 10 is 41 for the patrol, not for the chapter. I'm looking for the situation manual here. Here we go. So that just gets us into the success range, right? 16, 20, 31, 41. Yep. So we made it to success. There's no way we're getting excellent, but I'm happy with that. So no matter what happens in this last patrol, or we've still got 2 more patrols. Now, we'd have to get, 24? We'd have to get 12 points in each patrol. I mean, I guess it's theoretically possible, but highly unlikely. But at least we made it into the success range, so even if we don't get the excellent, we'll be able to finish with 3 successes and 1 failure. All right. Let's go ahead and, because I forgot to do this last time, see if we have any promotions to hand out. Don't think we do, but let's double check. So our only green pilot is Ald, and he's only got 2 patrols under his belt now. So he won't be able to fly the next one, and even if he does get to fly the last one, he won't be able to make regular. But let's see, who else then? For our regulars, we have Merrington, who just made regular, so he's definitely not going to be a veteran. Tremble and Grant. Grant also just recently made regular. So we're just looking at Tremble, and he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's right. He would be able to make it if he flies the rest, but he won't be doing that. So don't think we need to worry about promotions the rest of the campaign. No one's going to be able to reach the next level. We do potentially still have Rathbone possibly able to get an ace skill. And Upchurch is trying hard to get a second one. He's got nine bomber kills now. That's about it as far as aces. I mean, Pertwee is a couple more and he could get one. Everyone else is pretty far away. All right, that's going to wrap things up then for this episode of Skies Above Britain. So look forward to seeing you in the next one. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now.